Hi all. In this Inquiry Cube activity, we are going to practice thinking like a scientist. And when scientists think, they look for patterns in nature. And they look for patterns in nature to do three things mainly. First of all, they want to use their pattern to predict the future. They want to use their patterns to make decisions about what's happening right now or the present, and they want to understand what's happened in the past. So we're going to do the same thing. We are going to look for patterns today in order to do these things as well. So let's look at our scenario. We're going to imagine that we have gone and sent a rover to another planet and they found this cube on the other planet. Kind of crazy, right? So naturally our curiosity comes out and we want to know what's on the rest of the cube, right? Well, our rover can go all the way around and take pictures of the whole cube except for the bottom. For some reason it can't lift it up. And so we want to know what's on the bottom of our cube. All right, so we have our scenario and we're going to do three things. First of all, we're going to take a wild guess. After that, we're going to gather as much information as we possibly can. We're going to look for patterns, and then we're going to use those patterns to revisit our guess about what's on the bottom of this cube. So here we go. We're going to start here on number 1. What do you think is on the bottom of the cube? This would be a good time to pause your video and fill out these things. What color do you think is on the bottom? What's the name on the bottom? And what numbers are there? You can also talk about your confidence. How confident are you that you're right? Do you think you know for sure? You've been to Mars, you've seen this cube, or that would be a high confidence. Or is this really just a guess? You have no idea. We're just going to throw some things out there. This would look great on the bottom of the cube, and that would be a low confidence. So pause the video now and write down your wild guess. It doesn't have to be right. It's probably going to be wrong, and that's part of the process. All right, go. After we've done that, we're going to come back and write down what we observe. So this is our data. We're going to go through this carefully and write our data. Now, if we go back to that picture, you can see there is some information here that we can see already. We're going to write this down on our cube. And let's start with this square here, the blue 5-4 Benji square, being this middle square for us right here. So we can write in here, this is, oops, can I get my tool? Here we go. All right, so we're gonna write in here, Benji, and then there was a 5 in this corner, there was a 4 in this corner, and this was blue. So let's add that as a color as well. Now you go back and add the other sides you could see next to blue. Pause the video and do that now. All right, so from the picture, this is what I have written down. Hopefully you've written this down as well. I'm going to show you the rest of the cube minus the bottom. I want you to pause this video as much as you can and write in the other sides. So this is where we started. So there's Benji on the top, Skylar, and Jade. So if we start with Benji, here's Jade. If we go the other way, we get this one. All right, let's go back to Benji. We'll go this way. There's Skylar. If we go the other way, It's sky. Again, go back as many times as you need to and fill in the other evidence. Okay, now that you have evidence filled in, we're going to go to number 3 on your worksheet here. What patterns do you notice on this cube? So I want you to look at your data, and hopefully you have 5 boxes of data filled out. Do you see any patterns? Patterns in the color? Green, blue, something else? Do you notice any patterns in the name? Do you notice any patterns in the numbers in the top right or the bottom left? Any patterns that you see, write it down in number 3. Okay, pause the video now and do that. Okay, next we're going to revisit. Now that we've looked at our data, we've looked at our patterns, we're going to revisit that guess as to what's on the bottom of the cube. So this is number 6. What do you think is on the bottom of the cube now that we've seen some of the data and the pattern? All right, and again, we want to revisit, what do you think the color is on that bottom of the cube? What about name? How about numbers? And remember, scientists use patterns to talk about what's happening now, explain the past, and predict the present. So that's what we're trying to do. You can also revisit your confidence matrix here. Now that we've seen patterns on this cube, how confident are you now in your guess? Is it still a low confidence, or have you moved up on the scale? So pause the video and fill in number 6 now. Now that you have your guess made in number 6, we want to go back up to number 5 and kind of explain our thinking a little bit. So if we look at number 5, we have claim, evidence, and reasoning. And this claim is going to be your what. What did you decide? So in here, I'm going to write, what did you decide? But you write your actual decision. I think the bottom of the cube is... Pause the video and do that now. This second box is your evidence. What did you see that made you come to that conclusion? So pause this video and write that in now. And that evidence piece can be something like, well, I saw a pattern that was green, blue, green. And if I continue that pattern, it makes me think. So you're going to actually list the thing you see. In this last section, the reasoning, what pattern does your evidence show? So this is the why. Why, when you saw that thing, did it make you come to this conclusion? And in here, you want to talk about the pattern that you saw. So pause the video and do that now. Last question is number 7. How your confidence changed. How did your confidence here in this matrix change from number 1 to number 6? Which one is a better guess in your opinion? Is it our wild guess, or is it our data-informed prediction? So tell me how your confidence changed from number 1 to number 6. Pause the video and do that now. And congratulations, you went through the steps that a scientist goes through as they try to explain the past, discuss what's happening in the present, and predict the future. You made a wild guess, you gathered information, you looked for patterns in that information, and then we came back and gave a better data-informed guess at the end. I'm so proud of you. I look forward to doing this again in the future.